Hey guys, it's Dane here with a new fun build, and today we're going to be making this. Well, what is this, you might ask? Well, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail that I'm going to have, this is going to light up, and it's going to be for parkour or demonstrations. So, it is just a really simple box, and it's a proof of concept. Let's get into the reasons why I made this and into the build. So it's really simple. You just assemble a simple box that's the same size as the sheet of plexiglass you're going to be using, and we're just going to drill and screw all this together. Alright, now that you have your box made, you're going to get another piece of wood and put it in the center. And that's because this flexes a lot, and we're going to use that to our advantage. So we're going to have a center beam, and there's going to be some sort of thing that's going to make it so when you apply pressure to it, it turns the switch on and off. We have this screwed in. We're going to use something that compresses, like sheets of craft foam or EVA foam. Something that's maybe 2 millimeters thick. And we're going to lay it on top of this and not on top of the middle beam. So that way, when you push on it, it pushes down in the center, and these all stay up, but only by about 2 millimeters, so we don't create a lot of stress on this. Since I'm the prop maker, I'm going to use barge contact cement to glue this all down. So let's get to putting barge on this, and you should know how to glue stuff, so I'm not going to show you because that's going to be boring. Now that we have it all glued down, when you put this on and you push in the middle, with enough force it touches. So that's going to be where we're putting our switch. So now you attach some sort of bottom, so that way the electronics have somewhere to go, and you can figure that out. You can use plywood, you can use sheets of hardwood like I did. You can use whatever you want that you think is going to be sturdy enough. It's going to be a bottom, so it has to be sort of thick. And then we're going to install the electronics. Alright, now we're going to find where we're putting the electrical plug in so we can drill a hole big enough for it to fit. We're going to do a pilot hole. Make sure it went through on the right side. That's exactly where I marked it. And then we do the actual hole. So how we're going to drill holes for these electronics? Well, it's simple. They're small screws for electronics. So we just take an owl and jam it in through the hole and just shove it in there, and that makes a hole perfect for these screws. So now we just take our screwdriver and screw them in. Oh, see, and if this hole's misaligned, we take the owl and just jam it into that hole again. It's lined up. Now we got a hole for it. Alright, now the most important thing is we test the electronics before we go any further. Plug it in. The LED's on that turned on. Now let's press this button. Hey, still works. So next step, securing the plexiglass to this, drilling a hole through here for the LED strips to go through, and making this switch into something that presses right here where there's no foam. Now we're going to take off one of the bottom panels, or the full bottom panel depending on how you made this, and we're going to just cut out a channel with probably this or something very similar to a box cutter. And I'm going to have my tape go at an angle, and then across here and there an angle. So it's going to be like a V shape. So I'm going to do it at the very top of this. Now we use a chisel. Alright, now mind you, I've had these chisels since I was in high school, so they're horrible chisels. And they're not really something I'd recommend to buy, these double things, because they're not really good chisels. But they got the job done, and now we're going to sand this so it doesn't rip the tape, and put everything back together, and we should be really close to being assembled. Alright, so now we're going to just take this switch, cut the wires on it, and affix it to these two things, and we're going to see exactly how I do that coming up right now. Used for guitars usually, so it's tape that is conductive on the tape side and through here, and you can solder to it. So we're going to tape one piece here, tape another piece onto the plexiglass, screw the plexiglass in on the four corners just so it's secured there. Don't screw it in anywhere near this because this needs to flex down. And then we're going to cut the wire, this one closest to it, solder that on, and then we're going to take a longer piece for the plexiglass so when we open it up, if we ever have to do anything, it's going to be able to open and not just like snap the wire immediately. So we're going to solder those from where the switch is, and let's get to it. Be sure that you tin the wires, so we're going to put a little bit of solder on our tip, hold this onto the wire, and then you apply the solder to the wire, so that way we know that it accepts and goes into the core of the wire when the wire is hot enough. There, you see how it's going in now? And then it's tinned, and then we're going to tin this. Let's just put it in a random spot. See how easily it solders to that? Then we just put the wire on there. Look how easy that was. Woohoo! Same thing for the exact same other side, and we're just going to drill holes in the plexiglass so that way it doesn't shatter when we try to actually put it in. Yay! Alright, so let's plug it in and see if this switch works or not. Hey! Excellent. Let's turn these lights off. It works. All right, let's test it out and finish this video. Alright, so as we can see, this is a box, a really simple box, and we have this acrylic plate here, which is sort of thick, so that way when you jump onto it, it doesn't break, but still lets light shine through. It's sanded, so it's diffused, so the light will really glow. Alright, so we have the copper tape here that I showed you how to put on, and we have the input jack. So you plug it in, you jump onto it, and it shows different lights and different colors depending on what code you use. If you use the same code I used, then it's going to show random colors. And you have to note that this is a proof of concept or a prototype, so I only have like this much LED strip in it. If you buy the full LED strip from what I'm going to use, you potentially can have this glow really, really bright, or you can have it be pretty much any size you want. And with Arduinos, you actually can control 2 channels at once because they have 3 inputs on one side and 3 inputs on the other side for stuff like lights. So you could potentially have one Arduino powering 2 different boxes if you wanted to. So I actually got commissioned to make just the electronics part, which is going to have a lot longer LED strip in it. And I got commissioned to make that, and I wanted to make this as a proof of concept just to see if my idea was viable. So the people who I'm making this for are going to make their own boxes. They're welcome to take any ideas from this video, but overall, just the electronics is something that I designed, and it was just super easy, simple programming, and it's been a really long time, like maybe 10 years since I've programmed anything, and I was able to just Google something and fix a couple little lines so it worked for what I wanted it to do. So don't let this be like a discourager, like, oh no, coding's hard. See that this code's like this long and you can already make something really simple like this and really cool. So with things like this, we have a bunch of support coming in from Patreon, and you can see with these names right here, those people help with a bunch of projects, not necessarily this project, because this one is more of using my scrap stuff laying around to prove a concept, and they pay for more stuff like my cosplays and stuff like that. So not necessarily projects where I'm just trying to prove something works. You get the idea. So you can help by looking and checking out my Patreon there, and you can see all the benefits we have. There's lots of benefits, so go check out my page, link in the description. You can also see some videos over here where I might be making some stuff or doing more parkour, combining the things that we did today. And we have links like subscribe and my Patreon link in case you're too lazy to go down to the bottom of the description. And we'll see you in the next video.